that according to recent studies, companies that prioritize emotional intelligence in their leadership and teams see an average increase in productivity by up to 20%. This striking statistic highlights the critical intersection of people management, empathy, and technology in today's business environment, setting the stage for a fascinating exploration of how these elements come together to drive process excellence, data democratization, and the intelligent application of AI. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to yet another exciting episode of the Digital Dialogues, where we dive deep into the confluence of technology, leadership, and human-centric practices. And today, we're thrilled to have with us Abhishek Kumar. Joining us, he is a distinguished alumnus of the IIT Bombay and a serial entrepreneur whose innovative spirit has spanned healthcare, supply chain, and finance domains. His journey from working with leading brands to founding ventures like eveningflavors.com, Ramasis Technologies, and Xoxoday showcases his mastery in blending business needs with cutting-edge technology. His passion for mentoring startups and fostering environments that challenge and motivate teams to excel mirrors his multifaceted expertise in not just navigating, but shaping the technological landscape. A sports enthusiast and a creative soul at heart, Abhishek embodies the balance between analytical rigor and emotional intelligence, making him an aspiration for entrepreneurs and leaders alike. And today, he's here to share valuable insights on leveraging technology to enhance people management, empathy, process excellence, and much more. Thank you very much, Abhishek, for joining us on this episode of the Digital Dialogues.
Thanks, Kanchi. Thank you very much for inviting me for this episode. I'll try to share as much as I've learned over my experience and help the audience with whatever they can get positive out of it.
An absolute pleasure to have you with us. Let's dive in, Abhishek. And, the very first area where I'd like to pick your brain is within the people management space. When we speak about embracing change, and innovation. And that is one thing that is consistent across the board. And a lot of us face difficulties with this. So with your extensive experience in the entrepreneurship and the technology domains, how do you see digital transformation shaping the future of people management, especially in fostering a culture that embraces change and innovation open-heartedly?
Yeah, I think people have been the crux of any company, right? People and the customers, people plus processes, everything. But on top of a hierarchy and the customers now, the clients and the people, the company now understand that most important asset that they have, the people, right? So if you are not investing in people, if you are not upgrading your people, right, then I think you are putting yourself at risk. You are putting yourself at danger, right? Digital transformation has been the buzz today. I mean, for long now, I think more than 2 years. And every company, if you look at it, right, who were not earlier trying to get into bandwagon of digital transformation, have taken it at extra speed to embrace the technology and transformation that's happening all across the world, right? Because we have seen most of the companies who have not embraced this change, right, they have extinct, right? They have died in the process, because if you do not embrace the technology and people merger doesn't happen, then your people don't move forward, your process don't move forward, and your the sales and revenue doesn't move forward. It's as simple as it is, right? I would say that the current transformation, if you're looking at, it's very important in a way, because it plays a very vital role in shaping the people for the company, right? The current technology and solution, if you look into the market, right, they are very focused to build people across domain, which focuses on their specific skill sets, right? The tools that are available do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of task management for the people, right? And also help them in planning a lot of stuff, which in turn make them very efficient and disciplined, right? Most of the mundane and regular tasks for these people that they were doing earlier without the help of technology. Now they can automate all those tasks, and hence it gives them a lot of time to focus on how they can develop themselves by, again, by using some good tools available for L&D, that is learning and development, tools available for let's say AI tools available for helping them to manage their task, helping them to even respond in most of the cases. If you look at a lot of, in fact, every email, right, from Microsoft to Google, right, if you're using Gmail or if you're using Microsoft, you have like autopilot, you have like intelligence sense in Gmail, where they enable you and they help you to even compose your mail in a way that will be very appropriate for the end user or the end audience, right? So this is something which is focused to develop the skill sets and help the people better in terms of adapting the technology, in terms of upskilling themselves, right? Because see, I mean, if you look at the past, right, there has always been a discussion, debate, like there is a set of people, and who is helping them to grow, who is helping them to make them pass them up with the latest technology,
Hmm.
latest development happening in the market, right? Now today you have everything at your fingertip, personalized, right? For example, if I am a tech guy, right, I have a lot of tools available that will help me in developing codes, right? So yeah, I can literally go and tell that AI that give me a React code for this, right? Give me a ABC for this, right? And it will directly give you a downloaded code in that format, and it will be easier for you, because today it's all about building the uh, building the solution effectively and time efficiently, right? And then you can focus more on innovation and bringing new ideas.
Hmm.
Earlier, all these things were done by the people themselves, so they were not really free to focus on getting new ideas or help, or help people, help company develop with their innovation and things like those, right? So now, because we have so much tech available, AI coming to picture, helping people, I think they have ample time to focus on themselves, to focus on their training, focus on their skill sets, getting well trained, communicating properly with the audience outside and inside. If you remember, there was an era there, where people in technology, they had to be shielded, right? Because they were not exposed to customers, because they could not communicate properly, development community, right? I mean, they have a lot of developers. Now I think companies are very, very smart, and they are actually promoting these people to come up and talk to customers, understand their pain point, right? And the reason that they can do it, because we have so much of solutions available in the market which will enable them to not only to communicate properly, but also to help them to improve what they are going to pitch, how they are going to talk to customers, because the solutions are available, the tools are available that will give them the productivity metrics and all those stuff, right? So I think the transformations and technology specifically is playing a very crucial role today in shaping the people and the culture inside the organization, right? This, for culture transformation, there's a lot of tools that have come up. In fact, we at Xoxoday have built a product called Impulse, which focuses on employee engagement, right? When you talk about employee engagement, this is actually the core of building culture, right?
Hmm.
Earlier, if you talk about building culture, there were certain like event based or physical gift based things like
Correct.
those you'll do in a closed room appreciation. But now today, if you look at it, every company, either they have a intranet where they can promote the individual success, or they can actually celebrate some events, some personalized events for individuals, building a culture of appreciation, and then promoting people to give more engaging impact with the company, right? So yeah, I mean, and the technology is playing a very crucial role today.
Quite brilliant, and you've articulated it wonderfully how each aspect within technology space is helping people increase their productivity, reduce the time taken to do a task, and ultimately adding on to an organization or a business's goals and bottom line as well. So
Yeah,
very brilliantly put.
thank you.
I'm going to shift gears now to another aspect and touch upon emotional intelligence in leadership. And considering your journey through various sectors and your role in mentoring startups, how important do you think is emotional intelligence in leadership today?
I have a really good question because what I have understood in my entire journey is that the ability to control yourself, the ability to guide certain journey for people is very important for you to achieve your desired result, right? First of all, for the audience, I can just define what is emotional intelligence so that it is clear like what we are talking about, right? So emotional intelligence is the ability of an individual to understand, use, and manage the emotion in a very positive way, right? For in a way to relieve the stress, or communicate properly, or empathize with others, right? For example, create an empathy, or overcome personal challenges and not get into conflicts with peers or managers or things like that, right? So if you look at each term, right, which emotional intelligence comes into, right? For example, managing your own emotions, right? For example, you might be in a situation where you see that you have done some work and your team has done equal work with you, right? Now it might happen that your manager appreciates one person other, I mean, better than you, right? Now I have two options, right? One is I can react, right? The other is, okay, I can try and understand this in a positive way, that he's part of my team. If he gets appreciation, the entire team gets appreciation, right? And I can use this in positively to not let this thought get into my mind, because once it gets deeper into my mind, right, I get insecure, right? I get the kind of feeling saying that hey, this place does not appreciate me, that my manager is not supportive of me, things like those, and then it starts impacting my work, right? And then what happens, you get into unnecessary stress, you start getting irritated with a lot of things. For example, if somebody pinpoints things like that, you try to get into unnecessary conflict, you try to overreact, things like those, right? And hence it is very important to have training around emotional intelligence with the leaders to understand their people, and also for them to how can they manage their load, how can they manage their day-to-day work in that same time frame, right? Because if you are not able to control your emotions in a positive way, if you're not able to empathize with your team, with peers, or even with the leadership, right, then I think it is like you will not get the equal kind of response from the other side, right? And for you to be mentally calm, for you to focus on your work, right, it's very important that your that part of thing is taken care, where you look into things in a very positive manner than looking at a negative way, right? You need to look into things in a way that resolves things rather than creating conflicts, right? So there are two ways to look at it. For example, let's say, and I have experienced this multiple times, right? For example, if there and there people are different all the time. When you talk to people, that there are different kind of managers they'll encounter to work with, and not all managers are same, right? You will are not peers, all people are same under you also, right? I being a leader, I have also experienced people who are under me, but sometimes they react, they overreact, right? Now if I mean, I'm a leader, I can come back and say that, hey, how can you react to me in that way, right? But the other way to look at it is try to understand his mental state, right? And today the technology has solved this so beautifully. For example, there are employee pulse survey tools, right, where you will just run a pulse survey, where you can figure out like where do you stand on the emotional intelligence meter, right? They will also give, you can also run anonymous surveys, you can figure out exact problem with individuals to understand like what is the mood of the people, what is the mood of the people around you. And if you take the feedback positively, right, this will help people. In fact, like I have grown myself in this in a way where I have taken feedback very positively, tried to work on me, and try to convert people with negative sentiment into positive sentiment. So for example, somebody is come with a very negative approach to me and has been constantly negative, right? I have, through the way of surveys, feedbacks to the people, talking to him proactively, like communicating proactively, I've converted that negative sentiment to a positive sentiment, and then the journey has become a lot more smoother, right? Otherwise, if you stay in that stream of journey, you're always stressed. You're not able to focus on ideas. You're not able to focus on innovation. You're not able to focus on right things for your business, right? if you want to focus right thing of a business, emotional intelligence in the leaders, emotional intelligence in fact across the company is very important. And in fact, believe me, managers are important in terms of getting emotional intelligence. Equally important is the people in the at the lower leg of the pyramid, right? They are also to be, I mean, given training of emotional intelligence, because today's people, they will become tomorrow's leaders and managers, right? If they have given right training at the pace, they will carry it forward and they will always thank you for that.
Well, that's quite brilliant, and the way you've combined emotional intelligence with empathy, that
Yeah,
can be leveraged to actually, get
motivate
the
teams. Yes.
motivate teams and get the kind
Yes.
of results that you've been able to.
Correct, 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 correct.
Even when the world has gone hybrid, we're working in environments where personal interactions are limited. It's quite brilliant. Thank you for sharing that perspective. Uh,
Yes, sir.
Next, touch upon achieving process excellence.
Mhm.
Uh, so, drawing from your experiences creating products across different domains, uh, what role do you believe technology plays in achieving process excellence, and how can organizations balance the drive for efficiency with the need for innovation?
Yeah, a good question. I think when you're trying to embrace technology, and if you see the current landscape of technology, it's changing very drastically, right? So if you love one specific tech, if you love one specific, let's say, tool, then, I mean, it's a wrong way to look at it, right? You're also looking at things like how technology can promote this empathy, and how can you make a balance between grooming your team and also giving them the platform to generate new ideas, right? So basically, this is very important to promote the right kind of technology, right kind of empathy within the organization with right tools, right? So we are looking at in the current world, right? We are looking at things like, if we are able to offload a lot of work from people, right, and give them enough time to grow, enough time to get into ideas, they will definitely get that time to work on themselves, to look into how technology can help them grow better, and get the new ideas, this thing. So making a balance between the work done and also innovation that you bring into the organization is important, in a way that it should not impact your day to day revenue cycles, day to day product development, or day to day customer engagement, customer issues that we are encountering. At the same time, helping people to come up with innovations, come up with new ideas. You maybe, since you are getting a time, because a lot of things are getting offloaded using technology, maybe you take a time out in a week, so let's say half day in a week, to brainstorm, to make a pod kind of structure, where you give the platform to cultivate ideas, to cultivate innovations. You can run hackathons over the weekends, over the free time the teams have, so that they mingle with the teams inside and outside. In fact, you can invite a lot of people from outside the community, so they understand, they mix with them properly, and they understand like how the world is moving, what are the people thinking, and what is the mood like, right? So I think it is with the current use of technology and right use of, I would say, right use of tech platforms that we can get into, it's possible to cultivate that kind of innovation culture, and also not get impacted in terms of revenue, in terms of what you can get into it, right? So I think it is just the willingness for the organization to bring in this change. It's fairly possible to get into this, right?
Quite brilliant. And while all of this is being driven top down,
Yeah.
and the need for innovation is recognized by organizations, and they're giving an equal opportunity and a space for people to think and get their creative juices flowing and get the innovation engine running. uh, it's one side of the coin, and the whole thing is to power growth and agility for the businesses today. And
Right.
that sets it up for my next question. So when businesses are on their path or trajectory to achieve the right kind of growth and stay agile, in the current scenario and the era that we are in. In
Hmm?
your view, how critical is data democratization? And perhaps if you could throw light on certain, in ideas to kind of overcome the challenges that companies face in democratizing data. So,
Right. So I think, see, the whole point is when you talk about data democratization, you also talk about being very transparent, right? Means that, all across with your customers, within your employees, right? And across your board, right? You're trying to be transparent and you're trying to be not verbal, but quantitatively right in terms of what data projects was it, right? Which means that when you democratize data, you're trying to, bring meaning to that data and bring it upfront to the people in a much more meaningful and a transparent way, correct? So when you're doing democratization, there are in fact a lot of challenges that is faced today by organization, right? So in terms of, let's say, you need to know what sort of data you need to democratize, right? You cannot do all the data democratization to a level where you create issues with security, with create issues with privacy, all those laws, compliances, those need to be taken care, right? Now when you talk about data democratization in a way that is useful for you, you are always keeping people in front, right? You need to frame your data points which is useful for your people like customers or employees or your sales team or whoever it is, right? Only right amount of data that needs to be put, right? Now this is very important to understand that not every company has the tool to do this, right? For example, a lot of companies who are trying to digitize their data first, right? I mean, and then first comes the digitization. Once you have the data digitized, digitization, digital transformation has happened into the organization, then the next leg is how can you look at democratizing data, right? So challenging for different companies, challenges for different companies are different. For example, a company who is at a level where they are still digitizing their complete processes, and there are company who are already digitized their process and they are looking at democratizing data to make more meaningful sense out of it, right? So at each aspect, I think there are multiple things that you can do. One thing is like you can first and foremost thing is decide the purpose, right? For example, why do you want to digitize, why do you want to democratize, right? If you don't have a purpose, then I don't think you should just get into the wave that okay, everyone is democratizing, everyone is digitizing, then I should also do. I mean, not, it's not a me too campaign, right? So you have to look into things like the purpose of data, digital transformation, the purpose of data democratization, right? Once you have the purpose defined, then you need to break down your problem statement, right? Like you need to have the stepping stone to reach your purpose, right? So you need to, because at the same time what you're doing in digital transformation, it requires a lot of investment in terms of resource, in terms of monetary, financial, plus in terms of people, plus in terms of process automation, right? Now all these things, if you start taking everything at once, your revenue is going to take a hit, right? What you have to do is you have to make a balance between the process automation, between the data democratization, and also the steps that you are broken down, right? So make small step. It is going to be a long term process. You have to have the patience to have this in place. But once you define your purpose, break it down into small problem statements and work on a small problem statement with individual pod like structure, right? For example, you'll have multiple teams to work on this. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket, right? That which means that if entire team, entire company is behind digital transformation, your day-to-day revenue takes a hit, right? You can't do that, right? So, and that is why my suggestion is to break it down into small problem statements to reach the milestones. Each milestone can be defined with timeline with respect to the output that you want to achieve, and then combine together when you will achieve it together, right? It will require a top-down approach, which means that it has to be driven by the leadership. It cannot happen and it cannot be driven by the people at the lower strata. It has to be driven by the leadership itself. Once they are in line that it has to be done and the timeline defined, the purpose is defined, then I think the process will become little smoother. Still there are challenges because you need to find out the strength inside the organization. If you are not able to find out, take help from outside. There are a lot of people who are doing digital transformation and they can do it I mean, you can save a lot of cost if they're doing it in the right way. For example, let's say you are trying to do it yourself and doing it for the first time, right? You're bound to do a lot of mistakes, right? That will consume a lot of time, that will consume a lot of money, that will consume a lot of resource strength, right? You will end up losing time and money both, right? So in the advisable approach is to take help from outside, people who are digitization expert, people who can help you in this process, right? uh, and then break down your statement, like I said, give them each problem statement, you solve it, and then you move forward like that, right? So that's how you can embrace this change.
And I couldn't agree more with that assertion and the way you broke it down for us. And within each of these initiatives, whenever we speak about, the empowering people, increasing their productivity, having the right kind of processes, and then of course technology as the backbone of everything. So the people, processes, technology coming
Mhm.
together. And then we've of course touched upon data, but seemingly once you start speaking about data, no conversation is complete without touching upon AI.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, right.
so, taking a bit on the future of AI, given your background with integrating latest technologies to meet business needs, how do you envision AI evolving over the next decade? And any particular applications that you particularly think would help in improving business operations and decision making?
Yeah, I think, see, I mean, every decade, if you look at it, there's a lot of transformation that comes to picture, right? AI is also one of the stuff. Then once you look into AI, you will also start looking Gen AI, and then you look some other progressive AI in future, right? That it will evolve, it will keep evolving, right? Now it is AI. First of all, AI is good in a way that it is a assistance to to you in managing your work efficiently, to make a decision better, right? So it helps you make proper decisions. It helps you manage your task. It helps you be on time, and bring a lot of things closer to you. But ultimately, you need to know the right uses of AI, right? I mean, there's so many things that are available in the market, but everything is available at a cost, and everything is available at a time, right? You need to have enough time to implement that AI tool into your picture, and also spend enough to get some those AI things into. For example, a lot of people have been talking about OpenAI, then Microsoft Copilot, and there are a lot of things that are coming to picture, right? Now, all of these are platform that are very horizontal, right? They don't come specifically for one of your needs, right? They give you models which you can pick and train it for your needs, right? I mean, you will have a AI expert in your organization who will build on top of this model the solution that is going to be needed for your organization, right? So I think over a period of time, AI is going to change a lot of things, but for good, I would say, because every decade, if you look at it, this transformation, when transformation happens, there are two kind of notion that exist in the market. One is what happens to the job, what happens to the people. Are they going to extinct, or AI is going to eat all your job, right? The other thing is, there are other kind of people who would look into this as an opportunity to learn AI and to upgrade themselves into better, where they can use AI effectively, right? I always say that AI is always going to be the assistants, right? They are not never going to replace humans, right? They are only going to replace human if you are not effective enough, if you are not efficient enough to tame AI for your uses, I would say, right? So taming the AI is very important, right? Because otherwise, it's very easy and it's very fast to lose control of your business, if you do not tame it, right? Both financially and with respect to output that you want to achieve, it is going to be catastrophic if you don't have the AI under your control and use like that, right? At some point of time, AI will replace a lot of job, and I agree to that. But basically, there's a lot of, in fact, even today, if you look at things like you know different domains. For example, Gen AI. If you look at the use of Gen AI, right? Generative AI is mostly used by creators and people who are more on the creative side, where they can generate image, then they can generate videos, they can do all those things, right? Earlier they used to spend hours, days, months to create those things. Now that timeline has shrunk to, let's say, seconds, few seconds or few minutes, right? But a right person can only get you the right output. For example, if that same person, that same photographer, same editor, right, who is using a Photoshop, right, today is able to understand like how to use AI to get right kind of videos, right kind of photos, he can guide AI to give you the right output, right? But if you ask someone from the, let's say, from HR team, for admin team, from whatever team, right, who are not into that domain, who don't understand that domain, the creativity side of it, right, they might not get you the right output even with the use of AI, right? So it will not give you effective uses. You will end up wasting resource, you will end up wasting time, and not get the right use of time with respect to that, right? And hence, future is bright, future is good, but AI is only going to be a good assistant, a very beautiful assistant that is going to help you guide, that is going to help you navigate through your processes, navigate through your mundane task, and help you become better in your in your business management, in your ideation, in your innovation, things like those, right? So we need to look at AI as a positive change, right? And also learn, I mean, most importantly, learn towards how we can use AI effectively for ourselves, right? Rather than compete with AI, right? You cannot compete with machines, right? You have to tame machines, like I said, tame AI, right? You have to use AI for your benefits, and you need to know how to use AI, right? So future, I think AI is going to stay. I mean, there are a lot of technology you have seen in the past that has come, for example, crypto and all that has come and bubble has burst, right? AI is something which is going to shape into a very effective tool to help human beings, help people to manage their tasks, manage their day-to-day life, manage their day-to-day stuff effectively, right? Human intelligence is only going to grow up because AI will bring, I mean, challenge the human intelligence to a level where you have to compete, not compete, but you have to learn better things. You have to learn how to use that intelligence to make things better for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that's the reason why a lot of us have started referring to AI as not as artificial intelligence but as augmented intelligence, that is derived on the base of human intelligence. And then finally, yes, it is the human factor that will
Yes.
make all the cogs and wheels work and have them in the right place. Brilliant insights, Abhishek. I couldn't thank you more for taking us through such a wonderful conversation. And thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this with us and sharing those wonderful sets of gems of wisdom in this conversation.
I'm glad, and thank you for inviting me and having my point of view on all these aspects. And I'm glad to help in any ways that I can. Thank you.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up this enlightening conversation that we've just had with Abhishek, it's clear that the fusion of technology with a deep understanding of human dynamics is not just a trend but a necessity in the modern business landscape.
Yeah.
Abhishek's insights into emotional intelligence, empathy, process excellence, and the transformative power of AI that he shared with us have actually underscored the importance of nurturing a culture that values innovation and human centric leadership. Thank you once again, Abhishek, for doing this with us. And
Thank you, Kanchi. Yeah.
with that, we'll call it a wrap, and we'll request you to keep watching this space for more episodes of the Digital Dialogue to come your way. Thank you.